Sylvie of the multiple award-winning The Queen Sylvie Show. You want to expand and get noticed? Then come outside your box and into our world. Internet advertising has a real impact on global awareness and even sales, so let's make an impact together. Offering for a limited time advertising and sponsorship packages that excel your purpose. So contact Queen Sylvie or Smooth Tim for the exciting opportunities that awaits. Yeah.
Are you tired of driving around a dirty car? Say hello to the ultimate solution for your car. Quick Auto Detail, home, work, or wherever. Their mobile car spa will clean and shine your car anytime and anywhere. Their products are gentle on your car's paint, and they use only the highest quality materials. Book your appointment now.
Hey kids, how would you like to hear this on the screen instead of the great show you came to see? That's what you sound like. Honest. Please cooperate and do your part in keeping this theater quiet so everyone, including you, can enjoy it. Now remember, lots of adults and kids, too, paid admission to enjoy the show. We must insist on absolute quiet.
Oh, good madness!
IGA makes party planning easy. Clint bought Wonder Bread, Smucker's grape jelly, and Jif peanut butter.
I'm throwing a family picnic.
Donald bought Doritos, a 2-liter of Pepsi, and Manwich Sloppy Joe sauce.
I'm having a football party.
Vic bought a raw chicken, a cucumber, Skittles, a bungee cord, condoms, and a single bullet.
I'm gonna
Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? It's time for the final countdown. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's rock.
Damn right, let's rock. How's everybody doing on a fine hump day? Appreciate you tuning on back into Tim's Tidbits and spending a little bit of time on your Wednesday evening with me. It is much appreciated. Fact is, appreciation. Let me give some shout outs from last week's show to the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Mexico, Germany, Poland, Africa, Ireland, France, and Australia. Appreciate y'all tuning on in. Thank you very, very much. Otherwise, hey, here in the good old U.S. of A., up in the Ohio area, as a matter of fact, it's getting some winter weather. We're going to be experiencing some real interesting weather. I think they already got some over under the East Coast in Virginia and D.C., and they can't use any more, but it is what it is. We are in the middle of old man winter, and he's putting it on us for a minute. Anyhow, hey, let's get into the show a little bit, and we'll start up with Tripping with Trump. How about that, Seriously, it's crazy what's going on. He's been signing all kinds of tariffs. Everything has been going on, coming out of the White House with different sanctions, different tariffs. But let's get in. Just the other day, he signed a steel and aluminum tariff on imports because he wants to increase, obviously, U.S. steel production. However, if you really look deeply into it, we get a lot of our product not domestically, but internationally. So, again, that's probably going to drive up prices on your steel, aluminum products. So that can of Coke and anything else along that line is going to cost you just a little bit more.
Okay. And they're very
President Trump following through with new 25% tariffs on imported steel and aluminum.
This is the beginning of making America rich again.
Promising to boost the American steel industry, a relief for workers.
We're going to be able to stay alive.
And rejecting concerns the tariffs will drive up prices for U.S. consumers on everything from cars to canned food to home appliances, with Canada the largest supplier of steel to the U.S.
These foreign companies will move to the United States, will make their steel and aluminum in the United States. Ultimately, it'll be cheaper.
And as the White House looks to cut costs from the federal government, they're facing a series of new legal setbacks. A judge extending the pause on those federal worker buyout offers, while another judge blocked the Trump administration from slashing research funding through the National Institutes of Health after 22 states filed suit. A third federal judge ruling the administration has not fully followed his order to unfreeze federal spending. President Trump pushing back against the judicial checks.
No judge should frankly be allowed to make that kind of a decision. It's a disgrace.
While the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is the latest federal agency on the chopping block, the president calling it a waste. Democrats defending the agency created after the 2008 financial crisis.
Recovered more than $21 billion that these big financial institutions have cheated people out of.
Critics searching for roadblocks as the Trump administration moves full steam ahead. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Full steam ahead at raising prices of everything. Yeah, those, tariffs are not horrible, but they are horrible when that obvious cost, 25% cost on aluminum and steel and some of the other items coming into the United States as import items. That is all going to be passed along to you. So, hey, it's going to be interesting to see, how part of his campaign prices were, campaign promises rather, was to drive down prices. And it seems that they're going to keep going up for a minute. In fact, there is a lot of wasteful spending, according to Don, and he believes that as long as I'm signing executive orders, I may as well take care of one of them that's a big, huge concern to me, and that is paper straws.
The environmental impact of plastic straws versus paper straws is entirely unclear. This has cost both the government and private industry an absolute ton of money and left consumers all over the country wildly dissatisfied with their straws. So we're asking aspects of the federal government, federal departments and agencies to look at their existing procurement processes, and we're asking your Domestic Policy Council to look holistically at this issue to address it, and it really is something that affects ordinary Americans in their everyday lives.
We're going back to plastic straws. These things don't work. I've had them many times, and on occasion they break, they explode. If something's hot, they don't last very long, like a matter of minutes, sometimes a matter of seconds. It's a ridiculous situation. So
take care.
We're going back to plastic straws. I think it's okay.
Get rid of them. Stupid paper straws. See that guy in the back on the right side of him just busting up. He could.
And I don't think that plastic's going to affect a shark very much as they're munching their way through the ocean. Okay.
Actually, yeah, I'm glad that he's getting rid of exploding paper straws. I had no idea they were out there. I'm glad I never encountered one, and I'm glad that he's taking care of it. Thank you for getting rid of those exploding paper straws, Donald. Really, really appreciate it. Another thing that may or may not be appreciated is he has a real super huge issue with trans society, LGBTQ society, and he promised to sign some executive orders on that, and he sure did. Check it out.
Oh, I think we have a 10.
President Donald Trump following through on a promise he made repeatedly before returning to the White House.
From now on, women's sports will be only for women.
Targeting the transgender community, the one issue his campaign spent the most money on.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners.
More than $19 million on ads like this that ran in swing states.
Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you.
With a 2023 Gallup poll showing just 26% of people believe transgender athletes should be able to play on teams that match their gender identity, the White House sees it as a winning issue. The executive action, keeping men out of women's sports, directs federal agencies to interpret Title IX as prohibiting trans women from participating, threatening lawsuits, and cutting off federal funding for schools that don't comply.
He does expect the Olympic Committee and the NCAA to no longer allow men to compete in women's sports.
Trump's multiple executive actions taking aim at the transgender community already being met with legal challenges. The ACLU in a lawsuit arguing Trump's ban of transgender medical procedures for those under 19 is in violation of laws that prohibit discrimination on the basis of sex, though multiple hospitals have already suspended health care for transgender youth.
We're in the second week of this presidency, and my family has become a direct target.
Meanwhile, protests have sprung up around the country.
When Donald Trump violates the Constitution, violates the law, we think that judges who follow the law will rule the correct way.
We reached out to the NCAA to get a response to the executive order and have not yet heard back.
Well, I mean, that's a very controversial subject, how do you feel about it? What are your thoughts on this? When it comes to like abortion and some of these other things, they want to throw it back to the states, right? They don't want to have a say, but they want to have a say on how athletes can, be, if they're transgender, be in a man or woman sports. Why don't you put that back to the state? Let the states decide. If a state is acceptable of that type of activity and they're willing to support it, it should be fine, shouldn't it? It's interesting how the government controls certain things and others they'll throw down to the states so that they can wash their hands of it. Kind of like Pilate, huh? Anyhow, another one of Trump's agenda just recently popped up was repurposing Gaza. And President Trump, being the real estate tycoon he is, thought it would be a great idea if we could turn Gaza, which is now just a wasteland, into the Mediterranean of the Middle East. And nobody should really have a problem with us, the U.S., just coming in and taking over Gaza, should they?
Egypt.
Mr. President, during your election campaign,
Mr. President, how is the U.S. going to own Gaza? Your White House has made clear taxpayer dollars won't be used for this. So what money are you going to use to buy Gaza?
We're not going to buy anything. We're going to have it. We're going to keep it, and we're going to make sure that there's going to be peace, and there's not going to be any problem, and nobody's going to question it. And we're going to run it very properly, and eventually we'll have economic development at a very large scale, maybe the largest scale on that site. And we'll have lots of good things built there, including hotels and office buildings and housing and other things. And we'll make that site into what it should be. And the people from Gaza who wouldn't be able to be there for years, because you're talking about just to get it and prepare it and to take care of all of the problems that currently it has, as you know, tunnels, and people are in those tunnels. And you have some good people and some bad people, and you may have hostages right now. You have the hostages possibly there. They don't know where they are. And, I have a Saturday deadline, and I don't think they're going to make the deadline personally. I think they want to play tough guy, but we'll see how tough they are. But it's going to be a wonderful thing. It's going to be wonderful for the Middle East. I think it'll turn the Middle East. I think you're going to have peace in the Middle East. You're going to eventually have peace in the Middle East.
Okay, so we're going to bulldoze Gaza because it's a mess. Everybody that's there should move out. Apparently, they should go to Israel and or another country and relocate themselves because we're coming in and we're going to take over and develop that land and turn it into the Mediterranean of the Middle East. Sounds like a real good U.S. investment in getting our ass in trouble. We'll see how that all goes. Anyhow, hey, you do know that Elon's in charge of this Doge committee, right? It's going in and locking up everybody's obvious Medicare, Medicaid information, Social Security information, just all kinds of crazy crap. And sometimes he might not be so forthright with the information that he's found. In fact, one of the media called him on one of his releases on, what would it be, X, that's Elon's, right? His release on X of $6 million worth of condoms that went the wrong place. Check us out. But he got called on it.
Musk, you said on X that an example of the fraud that you have cited was $50 million of condoms was sent to Gaza. But after fact check this, apparently Gaza in Mozambique, and the program was to protect them against HIV. So can you correct the statements? It wasn't sent to Hamas actually. It was sent to Mozambique, which makes sense why condoms was sent there.
Yeah.
And how can we make sure that all the statements that you said were correct, so we can trust what you say?
Well, first of all, some of the things that I say will be incorrect and should be corrected. So nobody's going to bat 1,000. I mean, we will make mistakes, but we'll act quickly to correct any mistakes. If I'm not sure we should be sending $50 million worth of condoms to anywhere, frankly. I'm not sure that's something Americans would be really excited about. And that is really an enormous number of condoms, if you think about it. If it went to Mozambique instead of Gaza, I'm like, okay, that's not as bad, but still, why are we doing that?
Can you talk a little bit about?
So anyhow, he still didn't say how he was going to clear up any of this misinformation. And I did hear him on another interview. You could go to the Doge website and get the facts. So if he gives you any misinformation on the national news and it may be wrong, that's the information you're getting. But if you want to validate it to see if maybe what he was telling you is the truth, you can go to the Doge website and find out if it's fact or not. Okay. Anyhow, another part, and I think this has already went into, and he did sign an executive order on this one also, and if you Google it, you'll find it to be true, that the Gulf of Mexico is now the Gulf of America on your Google Maps. Okay. And so that, insane, Gulf of America. But in any regard, Governor Pritzstein of Illinois decided, you know what? As long as we're able to do these little hostile takeovers of bodies of water, maybe we should repurpose Lake Michigan and just take it into the state of Illinois. What do you think about that?
I'm here today to make an important announcement. The world's finest geographers, experts who study the Earth's natural environment, have concluded a decades-long council and determined that a Great Lake deserves to be named after a great state. So today, I'm issuing a proclamation declaring that hereinafter, Lake Michigan shall be known as Lake Illinois. The proclamation has been forwarded to Google to ensure the world's maps reflect this momentous change. In addition, the recent announcement that to protect the homeland, the United States will be purchasing Greenland, Illinois will now be annexing Green Bay to protect itself against enemies, foreign and domestic. I've also instructed my team to work diligently to prepare for an important announcement next week regarding the Mississippi River. God bless America, and bear down.
What? That's right. So, okay. Lake Illinois, we'll get that checked off the map here, Lake Illinois, and also going to redo the Mississippi River. Call it the Illinois River. Do something like that. Why not? Anyhow, there's all kinds of craziness going on everywhere. In fact, there's some craziness that happened down in Cincinnati, Ohio. They had a group of Klan members go over top of Interstate 75 in apparently the north side of Cincinnati and hang their propaganda over the overpass so that people could see it as they're traveling up and down the interstate. But in any regards, good old Cincinnati, Ohio, see how everybody handled that.
Next tonight, a disturbing scene in an Ohio suburb. A hate group dressed in all black and some waving Nazi flags gathering on an overpass in the Cincinnati area. They were confronted by residents of a historically black community. Here's ABC's Perry Russell.
Tonight, the clash above a highway near Cincinnati, Ohio. Neighbors confronting neo-Nazis dressed in black, waving swastika flags on an overpass north of the city.
In this neighborhood, we do stand for something. This here turf is golden soil, and it won't be tarnished with things like that.
At least one neo-Nazi seen holding a long gun. Police shutting down the overpass, trying to keep everyone apart. The neo-Nazis taking off in a U-Haul. One person seen running down the road, throwing something against the side of the truck. A swastika flag ripped away and set on fire. A minister from a nearby Baptist church holding a prayer service, calming tensions.
People are afraid, they're scared, they're angry.
These neo-Nazis were wearing similar clothes and face coverings to the neo-Nazis who marched through downtown Columbus, Ohio in November. Black community leaders later making the same march as a counter-protest. Tonight, the mayor of Cincinnati says messages of hate have no place in the region, writing, "This is not what we stand for, and it will never be what we stand for." And there was concern on the ground that police were letting this protest happen. Police say while the protest was offensive, it was not illegal.
Yeah, the guy standing there with what was that, an AR-15? In a military posture, finger down on the trigger, ready, to go on the offensive should it be necessary. Should we offend anybody in the black community with our rhetoric? But, hey, why not? They feel empowered. They feel emboldened. You get to pardon all the J6 people. Maybe if something did spark off, they'd get pardoned too. Why the hell not? And they run just like the Proud Boys, which is another one. They jump in the back of a U-Haul so that nobody can get their license number. They cover their face so nobody knows who the hell they are. What kind of chicken shits are you anyhow? It's ridiculous. But why not feel emboldened, especially when you have a president that decides, why don't we just cancel Black History Month, and who needs Martin Luther King Day, any of that stuff?
I'm changing Black history. It was terrible before Trump. Ever since I changed Black History Month to Snack History Month, people keep coming up to me. They say, "Sir, this is a much better month. No hostess, no peace." I also changed Juneteenth to Toonteenth, because who doesn't like a good tune? Like the song YMCA, my favorite. I was on such a roll, so I changed the Tuskegee Airmen to the Muskegee Airmen because of Elon Musk. He is my African American. Then I had Kahlua Pete Hegseth change Fort Liberty back to Fort Bragg. It's not named after a Confederate general, just after how much I like to brag. You were supposed to use that bottle to christen the sign. Then I changed that boring MLK statue to the much more exciting Herman Cain statue. And speaking of MLK, I changed MLK Day to James Earl Ray Day. He was great in Star Wars. Then I changed to Historically Black University, from Howard to Coward, and made Ted Cruz the dean. My changes were working so well that I went back and changed the Jeffersons to a show about Thomas Jefferson. I hear he was great with the blacks. I even changed Lara into the top black rap artist of 2025. And to preserve all this new black history, I have appointed Megyn Kelly to CEO of the National Museum of African American History. You're welcome, black people. I really hate
Our president and commander-in-chief. Canceling Black History Month. And, Martin Luther King Day. Sweep all that underneath the carpet, kind of like they did with, the Holocaust. It never happened. You take away the history and any accountability, any documentation of it. Apparently it never happened. Speaking of accountability and, what people think they can do nowadays, there's actually a celebrated child that shot the predator while he was breaking into their home. And this little kid's hailed a hero, and I think probably by the ARA and probably by President Trump.
Last week, Lucas Armitage bravely defended his family and his home when he stopped an intruder all by himself just by using his daddy's gun.
That's right, and Lucas and his dad Jack are with us in the studio this morning. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Jim. Good morning,
Tracy. Now, Lucas, can you tell us what happened?
I heard the noise, and I got up from bed and went into the kitchen to where Dad keeps the gun.
So you found it all by yourself, right?
I take it out a lot. Sometimes I just look at it.
Right, now, it was a burglar, wasn't it, Lucas? He was trying to steal things.
He looked hungry. When he saw I had the gun, he put his hands up and said, "Please don't shoot."
But you didn't listen to him, did you?
I knew it would be easy to shoot him. Just aim and pull the trigger.
That's right.
Well, and that's exactly what you did,
You
right?
shot him in the leg, didn't you? You put one right through the kneecap, right?
Yeah, it was like bang really loud, and he fell down screaming, and there was lots of blood coming out.
Lucas, you really are a hero.
He started crawling away and crying, so I shot him in the back.
Yeah, you must be so proud of your son, Jack.
And then I stood over him and shot him like bang, bang, bang.
Well, that's one crook that's not going to be breaking into anybody else's home, is he?
Yeah, but he wouldn't stop talking, so then I shot his jaw off.
Well, how'd you manage to do that, Lucas?
Either you shoot at the temples and pull down, or you shoot at the side of the skull wall.
It's the weakest part of the skull. He's right.
That's very
Then I
sophisticated knowledge there.
Yeah, but then he started screaming, "Arr!"
Yeah, right.
And then I shot off each one of his fingers, and then he stopped screaming.
Anyhow, kids today. Yeah, kids today. Anyhow, hey, let's move on to another one of my favorite parts of the show, because we're starting to wrap it on up after that craziness. And this is called Dude, What the Fuck? And speaking of craziness, that's what this segment's all about. And have you ever heard of a African helicopter? Now you have. Really? That didn't look like it was a very successful launch. Your opinion? Go ahead and write it in the comments. What is your opinion? What do you think? Would you invest in that helicopter company? Just asking you. Anyhow, hey, here's another what the fuck moment. And this would be, sometimes eventually you may have to stop into a service station corner store and say, hey, you know, where is this little town down the road? How much further is it down the road? And I would have real issues if I had to ask any information about this little town.
Okay.
Here we go.
Where are we?
We are in Tau Mata Whakatangi Hanga Ko Au Au O Tamatea Turipu Kaka Tiki Maunga Horo Nuku Poka Iwi He Nua Ki Tana Tahu to his lover.
Easy for you to say.
I'd be lost. Nope. I am not going to get to that town. Fact is, I can't imagine how they even get it on an envelope when they send out Christmas cards. Hey, anyhow, hey, I'm looking forward to, anyhow, with this weather, we're getting into some springtime weather. We live right up by the lake area, Big Great Lakes, Lake Michigan, and all kinds of water activities. And sometimes we get out there on the boat. Sometimes we get out there to fish. Other times we get out there to, maybe ski or wakeboard. And sometimes it's not such a damn good idea. Ouch. You know that hurt. I got some serious air underneath that tube. And yeah, that'll happen occasionally. You know, you can do the same thing. Yeah, catch a little air under the wakeboard and they'll give you a little extra lift too. But yeah, no thank you. They were going a little bit too fast and they didn't have especially with a small child on the back of that. But thank goodness they had somebody watching when he crashed out to get to him. You never know. Somebody could get knocked out on that kind of crazy accident. But hey, let's move on to the other part of the show that I'm always getting requests about, and that is our asshole of the week. And in fact, I have two this week. And the first one being, unfortunately, our president, who decided it would be a great idea to go down to the Super Bowl and enjoy the game. However, I don't know that everybody's necessarily happy with the price tag that came along with it.
Donald Trump is being criticized today for tax money spent on his Super Bowl appearance. It's not like he just, gets in an Uber and goes there. A lot goes into it, a lot of money spent. So let's run it down for you. There's a reason why no other sitting president before Donald Trump ever attended a Super Bowl. They're football fans too, But the reason they didn't is because it's so expensive, not to mention a security nightmare. And in this day where every penny counts, that's what he is telling us, and so is his friend Elon Musk, literally every penny counts, even though he wants to do away with the penny. But never mind that. Americans are wondering why their president isn't setting a better example. Remember, what's good for him is good for him, and there's another set of rules for you, okay? You can't go. You're fiscally irresponsible. Though the final numbers aren't in, estimates of Trump's appearance at the dud of a Super Bowl, the game wasn't good, but my Eagles won. Eagles. Okay, so I maybe disagree with the word dud, but I get it. Blowout. It reveals, though, the president's visit to the Super Bowl cost an additional $15 million in flight and security costs to get the president, his daughter Ivanka, he's back in again, huh? Son Eric, grandson Theodore to the game and keep them safe while in New Orleans. And a Black Star filling in the details, giving us the tally, if you will. Generally costs about $3 million to $4 million for an American president to take a short trip anywhere in the United States. Security had already been increased in New Orleans due to the horrific truck attack on January 1st, killed 15 people. Armed guards around every corner. Snipers stationed on rooftops, police dogs on patrol. Pretty much every available form of security was deployed in the Big Easy. So let's run the tab down for you, the estimate anyway. It's pretty incredible. Secret Service, $7 million to $10 million. Air travel, motorcade, $4 to $5 million. Stadium security upgrades, additional metal detectors, bomb sweeps, security checkpoints. Oh, throw in another $2 million. Local law enforcement, overtime, personnel, another $1 million. So there you see the tally, $15 to $20 million for one guy with a bad spray tan to show up in New Orleans and boo. I know he was leading the boos against Taylor Swift. Was it worth it? Was it worth it?
Wow. That is one expensive-ass Super Bowl ticket, and it's on our dime. 15 to 20 million, whatever. They decide to come up with it. And these people, and hey, where's Doge? Where is Doge? When Trump comes up with the idea, I want to go to the Super Bowl, he goes, well, it's going to cost the taxpayers, 15 to 20 million dollars. Where are you then, Elon? Where are you? Where is anybody at doing anything right? Because that's craziness. Anyhow, hey, let's move on to the last asshole of the week, and that is a man who wants to take care of a rodent in his backyard. Sometimes you can trap them, catch them, but this guy had even a better idea. Nope, didn't get it that time. One more time. Try it again. Oh, damn. Match went out. Oh, shit. I used too much gas. What a dumbass. He could have caused a whole lot of problems. Obviously, he pulled poured gasoline down in the hole. Thought he'd get rid of the rodent that way. Probably was a groundhog. Who knows what it was. A little bit too big for a mole hole. But stupid, stupid, stupid. Yeah, that could have been really horrible. Any regards, hey, that wraps up the show. I hope you enjoyed everything from top to bottom. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening. And until next week, people, we are going to get out of here. Hey, try to keep your head above water. Try to enjoy life no matter how they keep throwing crap at you. And enjoy your upcoming weekend. And oh, as a reminder, fellas, we are on the 12th. Today is the 12th. 2 more days to Valentine's Day. Don't screw that up or you're going to be in big, big trouble. And speaking of, hey, having some trouble, let's check it out and get out of here with a little bit of a video and enjoy the rest of your night, folks. Bye.
Order for Billy? White mocha.
Cheers.
Yeah. It's a nice day for a white mocha.
What did you just say?
It's a nice day for a white mocha?
I'm telling you, Steve, most bizarre thing happened today.
Crushed ground pepper?
Yes, I was in this coffee shop and this barista...
More?
Yes, this barista kept saying...
More. More.
Yeah, should we get these to go?
Where did you find the inspiration for your new book?
Well, I looked all over the world and there's every type of girl.
If you're just joining us,
My opponent's got no human grace. He's eyes without effect. Tonight's win took sweat. Sweat.
Everywhere I go, I see him, I hear him. I can't help but feel that it's some kind of sign.
What kind of sign?
Well, I don't know. What do you think?
Perhaps it's a nice day to tour again. It's a nice day.
Tour again.